In a democracy, the ideal qualities and characteristics of citizens play a vital role in ensuring the proper functioning and sustainability of the system. Here are some key qualities and characteristics that are generally considered desirable in citizens of a democracy. Informed and educated. Citizens should have access to education and information to make informed decisions about political matters. An educated citizenry is better equipped to understand complex issues and make rational choices. Critical thinkers. Democracy thrives when citizens can think critically, analyze information objectively, and question authority when necessary. Critical thinking helps prevent the spread of misinformation and promotes healthy public discourse. Civic responsibility. Citizens should be actively engaged in their communities and the political process. This includes voting in elections, participating in public meetings, and volunteering for community service. Civic responsibility is essential for the functioning of a democracy. Respect for rule of law. Citizens should respect and abide by the rule of law. This includes obeying laws, respecting the rights of others, and supporting the justice system. A society that upholds the rule of law is more stable and just. Tolerance and respect for diversity. Democracy is often characterized by a diverse population with differing opinions, backgrounds, and beliefs. Citizens should be tolerant of these differences and engage in respectful dialogue, even with those who hold opposing views. Open-mindedness. Being open to new ideas and being willing to change one's opinions when presented with evidence is crucial in a democratic society. Open-minded citizens are more likely to adapt to changing circumstances and embrace progress. Political engagement. Citizens should actively participate in the democratic process, not just during elections but also through grassroots activism, advocacy, and involvement in political parties or civil society organizations. Responsibility for the common good. Citizens should understand the concept of the common good and work toward it. This means making choices and supporting policies that benefit society as a whole, rather than just pursuing narrow self-interest. Peaceful resolution of conflicts. Citizens should prefer peaceful means to resolve conflicts and disagreements, rather than resorting to violence or extremism. The ability to engage in constructive dialogue and compromise is vital in a democracy. Vigilance and accountability. Citizens should hold their elected representatives and government institutions accountable for their actions. Vigilance ensures that those in power are acting in the best interests of the people and the democratic principles. Participation in civil discourse. Engaging in civil and respectful discourse, both in public and private discussions, helps create an environment where ideas can be exchanged freely and without fear of reprisal. Environmental stewardship. Recognizing the importance of sustainability and taking actions to protect the environment is increasingly seen as an essential aspect of responsible citizenship. Adherence to democratic norms. Citizens should support and defend democratic norms and institutions, such as a free press, an independent judiciary, and the separation of powers, as these are essential for a functioning democracy. These qualities and characteristics are not only beneficial for the well-being of a democracy but also contribute to a more just and harmonious society. It's important to note that these qualities can be nurtured and developed through education, civic engagement, and a commitment to democratic values.
On tyranny. 20 Lessons from the 20th Century, by Timothy Snyder, offers valuable insights and recommendations on how citizens can safeguard democracy and resist the rise of tyranny. Here are some additional qualities and characteristics of citizens in a democracy that can be drawn from the book. Historical awareness. Citizens should be aware of the lessons from history, especially regarding the dangers of authoritarianism and the erosion of democratic norms. Understanding the mistakes of the past can help prevent their repetition. Guardians of truth. In the age of misinformation, citizens should be vigilant in seeking and promoting the truth. They should support trustworthy journalism and be critical of propaganda and disinformation campaigns. Resistance to normalization. Citizens should resist the normalization of undemocratic actions or rhetoric by political leaders. They should not accept violations of democratic norms as the new normal and should voice their concerns when such violations occur. Active opposition. When democratic values are under threat, citizens should be willing to engage in peaceful acts of civil disobedience, protests, and activism to protect their rights and the integrity of the democratic system. Protection of institutions. Citizens should support and defend democratic institutions, such as the judiciary, law enforcement, and the electoral process, from undue political interference and erosion.
Solidarity and unity. In times of division and polarization, citizens should strive for unity and solidarity with others who share democratic values. A divided populace is more susceptible to authoritarian manipulation. Courage. Citizens should have the courage to speak out against injustice and oppression, even when it is personally risky. Courageous individuals often inspire others to stand up for democratic principles. Eternal vigilance. As famously stated by Thomas Jefferson, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Citizens must remain vigilant and active in their defense of democracy, understanding that it requires constant effort and commitment. Resistance to authoritarianism. Citizens should be aware of the warning signs of authoritarianism and be willing to resist when those signs become evident. This includes challenging leaders who undermine democratic norms and principles. Civic education. Encouraging and supporting civic education programs that teach citizens about the principles of democracy, the Constitution, and their rights and responsibilities as citizens. Support for allies. Citizens should support democratic movements and allies in other countries who are fighting for their own democratic freedoms, recognizing the interconnectedness of democracy worldwide. Timothy Snyder's book emphasizes the idea that democracy is not a given, and its preservation relies on the actions and vigilance of its citizens. These qualities and characteristics underscore the importance of active and informed citizenship in protecting democracy from authoritarian threats.